Good morning, grade fives. I trust that you all had a good weekend, and I would like to welcome you back to school in this beautiful Monday morning. I trust that you all have your English books out and your story books, like I did say, and your activity books. So, three things: English books, English textbooks, story books, and your activity books. So, today, children, we are going to learn about parts of a book. Ne? Can anybody tell me what comes to your mind? Or tell me one part of a book. Identify a part of a book. If you know what I mean. I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about it. I trust that you all have thought about it. So can anybody tell me or give me one part of a book? Anybody can give me. Raise their hands and just give me one part of a book. Thank you so much, Refilwe. Well, not necessarily. That's not necessarily a part of the book. That's the author's part of a book. Okay, so does anybody else have a question? Anybody else? Anybody? Like, does not anybody have like at least an idea about what about a part of a book? When you talk about like parts of a book. Okay. Since you guys do not know, so basically what a part of a book is, it has 3 parts. Ne? It has a introduction, it has a body, or which we call them. So parts of the book, there is an introduction, firstly, a rising action, a climax, falling action, and then there is the end. No, the resolution and the end. So the end, the end is not necessary for you guys to remember it, because the resolution is basically the end of the story. But it's basically 5 parts. Introduction, which is the beginning of the book. Rising action, which is when the story is slowly reaching its climax, which is in other words, it's juicy part, if you know what I mean. It's juiciest part. There's the rising action, the climax, which is the nicest, basically the middle part of the book. Called the climax, the nicest part of the book, juiciest, like I said. And then there's a falling action where the story starts dying down, or the drama or the juiciness of the book starts dying down. And then we have the resolution, which in terms of like a book is when the problem is resolved, or basically the end, which is the resolution. And then 5 parts resolution. I was about to say the end, but I remember there's no end, because the resolution is the end, right? Okay, so I'm gonna read you a story quickly, and I want you guys to give me or identify. I'm gonna give you an activity later where you're going to identify and write down for homework which part of the story was which, falls under which part of the 5 parts of a book. Ne? So I'm gonna read you a story right now. Can you please open your books? Everyone, can you please open your books and follow with me as I read? So we are gonna read a book The name, it is by Reading for Meaning, the Reading for Meaning program, which is a reading program. And the story, the name of the story is The Elephant and the Ants. Is everybody's books out? And yeah, is everybody's books out? Okay, everybody's books out. Guys, please open your books and follow with me. We're in the beginning of the page 1. Actually, it's page 6 because that's the beginning of the page. The beginning of the story is in page 6. Sorry, we're in page 6. Okay, everybody, please follow with me, ne? While I'm reading, so that you will get the idea. Okay, so listen and follow. Like I taught you last time, listen and follow. Thank you. So the story goes like this. There was once a young elephant who liked to look for mischief. One day, he went wandering away from his family, and when walking in the bush, he saw an anthill and thought it would be fun to trample all over it and break it. He tramped and stamped all over the anthill and almost destroyed it. Then he laughed and laughed as if it was all just a joke. Sorry. Ha ha ha. The ants came running out of their tunnels in a panic, although in their tiny voices, all together in their tiny ant voices, they shouted, "Stop it! Stop it! Now!" Do you know what the young elephant did? He ran away. Straight away, as quickly as they could, the ants started fixing their home. At last, it was a tall anthill again. Sorry. A tall anthill again, with all the passages rebuilt. A few days later, the young elephant went walking again. He saw with surprise that the anthill had been fixed. Ha, he thought, more fun for me. Do you know what he did? Again, he stomped all over the anthill, breaking the ants' home with his massive legs. Again, he laughed and laughed. Ha 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 ha. The ants were furious. Let's see what the smart ants did. Suddenly, hundreds of ants came running out of the anthill. They ran up the elephant's huge legs. They ran behind his ears and ran up his trunk. They tickled him, bit him, and tickled him again. Hey, 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 that tickles. Ow! That's so, ow, stop it, ow, yelled the young elephant. The ants answered, just look at what you've done. You've destroyed our beautiful home, not once, but twice. We will not stop biting you if you stop bothering us. We will stop bothering you if you start bothering us. And if you stop breaking down our home. The elephant stood with his mouth hanging open in surprise. The ant said, you think that because you are bigger and stronger than us, you can bully us? Well, think again. We are powerful too. We may be tiny, but there are lots of us. Together, we are strong. The elephant was very itchy and very sore and very tired of being bitten. So he said, okay, I won't destroy your home again. Just please don't bite me or tickle me anymore. When the ants heard this, they ran down the elephant's ears, down his trunk, and down his legs. Then they looked up at the elephant, and in their tiny voices all together they said, and just think about this. We build things up. We don't break this down. We don't break things down. We are constructive, not destructive. The elephant replied, actually, I am quite impressed with the way you fixed your home. So the ants went back home, and the young elephant went back to the herd. Excuse me. The next day, when he went walking in the bush, the young elephant walked very, very carefully around the ant heap. And if you looked at his face, you could see he was smiling. And all those little ants, well, I think they were smiling too. And that is the end of the story. So guys, I want you, all of you, to do something for me. It's an activity. It is not in your textbooks, so I suggest that you listen and write. Ne? What I need you guys to do for me... Oh no, actually, I am so sorry. Before I move forward, should I read the story again, or did anybody understand the story? Did everybody get the story? Okay, I'm happy then. So now I'm gonna give you your activity that you're gonna do for homework, and I'm gonna check tomorrow because I know some of you have not been doing your homework lately, and you know who you are. So I want you guys to do this for me. I want you, each and every one of you, for homework tonight, like I said earlier, write down or categorize or identify in the book which parts go into which 5 parts of a book. Remember, I said it's the introduction, which is the beginning, the rising action, which is when it is starting to get warmer, or basically near the climax or near the fun part. It is starting to get warmer. And then we have the climax, which is the juiciest, like I said, in the simplest form, or the nicest part of the book. And then we have the falling action, when the story is, or the drama or the juiciness is slowly like starting to die down. The falling action, that's the fourth one. And then the last one is the resolution, or basically, in other words, towards the end of the book. 5. Did anybody, is anybody still with me? Okay, so what didn't you understand? Refile? Okay, so the first one, the beginning. It's called the beginning. Rising action. Listen to this, okay? So if anybody had the same question or didn't understand what I was saying, listen. The rising action, climax, which is juiciest part. So every time when you think climax, you think of the juicy part. Falling action, when it starts to die down, and then the resolution, which is the end or close to the end. Okay? So I want you all to tell me in this story that we just read, which part goes into which 5 parts of a book. So everybody, if you didn't understand the story, when you get home, you can reread the book in case you didn't get me or understand the way I read it. You can go home, read the book again, and then write down which part of the book falls under which part of the 5 categories of a book. Ne? Okay, so I think the bell is not gonna, it's gonna ring sometime soon. Our time is gonna be up very soon. So while we wait for the bell to ring, you guys can start thinking, or you can start reading the book again. Oh, actually the bell just rang. So please get up, pack up your books. Don't forget to do my homework, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.